In this video, I'm doing a book review that is going to be perfect for you if you love to read or listen on Audible, and you also want to create goals for yourself or you want to better your life in any way. So there is a book that I suggest to everyone. I have read it in paperback. I've listened to it on Audible. I've made my husband listen to it, and I tell all my clients how great it is. And before I share with you, of course, I'm going to share with you what the book is, and I'm going to tell you all the things I love about it and kind of give a review of it. But the reason why it's so powerful is because when you're the type of person that wants more for yourself, so let's say you want to lose weight permanently. Let's say you want to make more money, or you want to find love, or you are trying to go to bed earlier and wake up early, like have better habits. If we are that type of person, we want to be very aware and intentional with how we are measuring our success. For most people I see out in the world, they are measuring themselves against where they are trying to go, against the end goal, and they're creating a lot of misery for themselves. So let's take weight loss because it just seems like a great, easy example. So let's say you want to lose 20 pounds and you're trying these different things and you're going through, you're trying to make it happen, but you've, let's say, only lost 7 pounds, but you want to lose 20. If you look at it and say, I've only lost 7 and I'm trying to lose 20, and every single day you step on the scale, and if it isn't telling you that you're getting better and closer to that 20 pounds, sometimes you can get discouraged and you can think this isn't working, this isn't going fast enough, because you're measuring your 7-pound weight loss against 20 pounds, which is the goal. So the book I'm going to share with you really talks about flipping that and measuring yourself, your success, your progress based on where you've been, based on how far you've come. So if we look at ourselves and say, okay, I know I want to get to 20 pounds. I've got 7 so far. I'm really proud of myself. I'm doing this in a sustainable way. I'm educating myself. This feels right. If you say to yourself, I've come pretty far. Not only have I lost 7 pounds, but maybe I've done it without dieting. Maybe I've joined Courtney's program. Maybe I'm learning how to do better in the evenings. Maybe I'm learning how to not snack in the car. And I'm really seeing my own growth. If you think of it, if you measure it that way from where you were to where you are now, you're going to feel better about your progress. You're going to feel proud. And oftentimes there's a misconception that if we are feeling proud, feeling good, that it's not going to give us the kick in the pants that we need to go towards our goal. But I disagree. I think there's a lot of people trying to get to their goal in any area by mentally whipping themselves and telling themselves that they're not doing it fast enough, good enough, correct enough. And then being worried that once they get to their goal that they're not going to keep that goal going. So this book is called Gap in the Gain. It is by Dan Sullivan and Dr. Benjamin Hardy. It is a wonderful book. And it's if you understood what I just said about it, it's a quite simple book to read. Because I don't know about you, sometimes I read some books that are pretty intense, and this one I love. It's simple, but it's very powerful at the same time. So when I say it's simple, that does not negate its power. Clearly, I'm doing a book review on it. So it is a wonderful book that really talks about how you measure your progress. It is going to make you happier if you measure it in a way that compares to where you've been, and it is going to actually get you to your goal faster. So let me break down a little bit about this book. So it's called The Gap and the Gain. It talks about the gap. So the gap is where we don't want to be. Let me break down what the gap is. When you're in the gap, you're focused on what's lacking instead of what's improved. You're focused on how far you have to go and how you're not there yet and how you wish you were there yet. You're really hyper-focused on that. You're comparing your current reality to this, what we think is the perfect, end goal. And I can't tell you how many people I have coached, whether they've wanted money or weight loss or, a better relationship. And when you stay in the gap and it's almost like you're doing all this work from a place of not enoughness, not there yet, not fast enough, when you finally get there, we kind of think that we are going to all of a sudden go, oh, thank God, it's so wonderful here. But what I will tell you is if you have not enjoyed the process, if you have not talked to yourself nicely along the way, when you get there, it's a little lackluster. It's a little bit not as great as we were thinking. And so you want to make sure you're in the gain, and I'm going to talk about the gain in a moment. Another thing that happens is when you know you're in the gap is because even when you achieve your goals, you quickly reset the bar. You say, okay, I've lost 20 pounds. You know what? I think I'm going to lose another 5. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you do it from a place of not enoughness. Or you say, I want to make $100,000 a year. You get to 100 and you're like, now I'm going to 150. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do 150. Oh my God, I wish I could just enjoy myself. You know you're in the gap. When you're in the gap, you feel a lot of frustration, a lot of anxiety. Oftentimes we can end up burned out and then regressing. We have this never enough like kind of narrative going on. And even like motivation and taking action feels really heavy. So it creates a life where even when you get to where you want to go, it's still not good enough. So let's talk about the gain, where I want you to be. And this is more than just being grateful and seeing the glasses half full. It's more than that. If you can get in the gain and spend more time in the gain, you're not always going to be in the gain. Sometimes we slip into the gap. That's why we want to be able to recognize it. But if you can stay in the gain longer, you can measure your progress by looking at your growth over time, and it will create so much more happiness in your journey towards your goals. You acknowledge your wins and improvements, and you slow down enough to be able to say, God, I'm really proud of myself. I'm really doing well, even if you're not there to your end goal yet, even if you're still in process. And when you're in the gain, you will slip up and go into the gap and be able to catch yourself because it doesn't feel good. And you'll be able to go, oh, okay, I need to get back into the gain because it feels so much better. And so when you are in the gain, you are feeling gratitude. You are feeling momentum. You're feeling optimism. You're feeling like you trust yourself and you feel like you have more consistent motivation. Now, motivation is very fleeting. I love the way I teach is I don't teach we need to wait for motivation, but we can actually feel a little more motivation when we're in the gain. And what I like to say even better is you can make a plan and stick to it even if you're not motivated if you're in the gain. So here's what it looks like to coach yourself, right? I'm a life coach. So one of the things I do is I coach people. I also teach people how to coach themselves. Is if you have found yourself slipping into the gap. So if you feel like, during the day, if you feel like this isn't working, if you feel discouraged, if you feel unmotivated, all those things, this is how you coach yourself. You can say, what am I feeling right now? And identify that feeling. Okay, I'm feeling frustrated. I'm feeling like not enoughness. That's not really a feeling, it's a thought, but still, you know what I'm talking about. Kind of like, like you woke up on the wrong side of the bed. And what you can say is, okay, this is in my control. Do I want to keep feeling this way? Because clearly I'm in the gap. I'm telling myself that I'm not far enough along. Do I want to stay here? Because that gives us ownership. It makes us realize that we do have a choice and it is in our control. And you might say, no, this feels crappy. I don't want to stay here. And so then what you can do is you can say, what do I need to believe in order to get back into the gain? And it's going to be something like, this is a process and I've actually come really far. I'm so proud of myself for how far I've come. Another great question to ask yourself to get in the gain is, what are the changes in me that I see happening? Yes, maybe I've lost 7 pounds. Are there any other changes, like with my habits, my life, the way I feel energetically or physically, any other changes that are going well for me? Sometimes we just look at money or weight or something like that. But like when we start making more money, when we become the person that can make more money, when we become the person that can eat better consistently in order to lose weight, other changes are going on. So that's another thing to coach yourself, is to say, what other changes are actually happening that I can be proud of along this journey to my goal. So I hope you love this book. I obviously have it in hard copy. I even love it even more in Audible, because when I read it often makes me sleepy and I fall asleep. So I love going for a walk and listening to this book. If you want to learn how to apply a tool like this, learning how to coach yourself from being in the gap into the gain, I work with women privately one-on-one and in small groups. Head to modernbodymodernlife.com, and I would love to offer you a free consultation, and we can talk about your goals and what needs to happen in order for you to not only achieve your goals, but have it be sustainable achievement. Habits that you create, changes that you create in yourself. So when you get there, you've enjoyed the process and you are able to stay there because you've changed you along the way.